It was just another ordinary day for Alex Mitchell, a young scientist who worked at a quiet research lab in the outskirts of the city. The sun was setting and he had just finished his routine check of the experiments when his phone buzzed. The message was from his boss, Dr. Williams. Emergency. We need you here immediately. Don't ask questions. Alex frowned. He was used to strange tasks at the lab, but this was different. He quickly grabbed his jacket and rushed out the door, wondering what could possibly require his attention at this late hour. The drive to the lab felt unusually long. The streets were nearly empty, and the silence in the car seemed to match the unease building inside him. What could it be this time? As he pulled up to the lab, he noticed that the gates were wide open. A few military trucks were parked outside, their engines humming softly in the cool night air. This was definitely something big. Inside the lab, Dr. Williams was pacing nervously. "Alex, I need you to stay calm," she said, her voice tight with worry. "This is unlike anything we've ever encountered." Alex blinked. "What are you talking about, Dr. Williams? What's going on?" She led him down a corridor to a secure room at the back of the facility. The door was sealed with high-tech locks, and when she punched in the code, it slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside the room was a large metallic object shaped like a pod. It was unlike any spacecraft Alex had ever seen, sleek, shiny, and glowing with an eerie light. "Is this?" Alex started, his voice trailing off in disbelief. "Yes," Dr. Williams interrupted. "This is a real alien spacecraft. It landed not far from here, and it's not some accidental crash. It's a message." Alex felt his heart race. His mind struggled to process what he was hearing. An alien spacecraft? Right here on Earth? It seemed too unreal to believe, yet everything in the room screamed that it was real. The metallic surface of the ship shimmered as if it were alive. The faint hum coming from it felt almost like it was breathing. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered, and the sound of soft footsteps echoed from within the pod. Alex's breath caught in his throat. A figure slowly emerged from the ship, stepping out into the soft glow of the room. It was a woman, but not like anyone Alex had ever seen. Her skin had a soft glow to it, pale but radiant, like moonlight shining through mist. She was tall, slender, and her features were sharp yet delicate. Her eyes were huge, dark pools of liquid black, and they seemed to reflect an understanding far beyond human comprehension. "Hello," the woman said, her voice soft and melodic, though it sounded strange, like she was speaking through a translator. Alex stood frozen, staring at her, unsure of what to say. Dr. Williams, however, stepped forward cautiously. "Are you from another planet?" The woman nodded, her long silver hair shifting with her movements. "Yes, I am Princess Zara of the Dathra. I come in peace, a princess," Alex repeated, still unable to wrap his mind around what was happening. The woman, the princess, smiled gently, but there was something more in her gaze. She stepped closer to Alex, her movements graceful, almost otherworldly. The air around her seemed to hum, as if it were charged with energy. "I have traveled far," she said softly. "I need your help." Alex's mind raced as he tried to absorb everything happening in front of him. "My help, but why me?" he asked, his voice shaky. The princess's gaze never left him. "Because," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper, "you are the one who can save my people. I need you to be my Earth Father." The words hung in the air like a heavy weight. Earth Father? What did she mean by that? The question swirled in Alex's mind, but before he could speak, she continued. "You see," Princess Zara explained, "my world is dying. My mother, the Queen, is gravely ill, and there is only one way to save her. I must find a father from your world, someone who can help me unlock a power that has been lost for centuries." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. This was beyond anything he could have imagined. Alien princesses, dying worlds, ancient powers, it was too much to take in, but why me? Alex asked again, his voice growing more desperate. "Why do you think I can help you?" Princess Zara's expression softened. "Because you are a man of intellect, a man of compassion," she said. "I have seen it in your thoughts. You are the one who can understand us, the one who will help heal my mother." Alex stood frozen, his mind spinning. He wasn't a hero, he was just a scientist. But there was something about the princess's words that stirred something deep inside him. Something that told him he couldn't turn away. Before he could respond, a faint voice echoed from the shadows. "Zara," a cold, regal voice called. "What are you doing?" The princess looked up, her expression changing from one of warmth to one of caution. The voice belonged to a figure stepping out from the shadows, an imposing woman in a dark cloak, her eyes glowing with an intense, almost frightening light. It was the Queen, and she had heard everything. The room was silent for a moment, the only sound coming from the soft hum of the alien pod. Princess Zara stood still, her expression now guarded as she turned to face her mother, Queen Alira. The air between them was thick with unspoken words, and Alex could feel the tension rise as the Queen's gaze fixed on him. Cold and calculating. "Do not waste his time, Zara," Queen Alira said sharply, her voice carrying an authority that sent a chill down Alex's spine. "We did not come here for this." Alex took a step back, uncertain of how to respond to the Queen's presence. He had been thrown into a situation beyond his understanding, but now that the Queen was here, everything felt even more dangerous. The Queen's eyes locked onto his with an intensity that made him feel like a mere insect under a magnifying glass. Yet there was something in her gaze, something ancient that spoke of wisdom, power, and untold secrets. Princess Zara, however, didn't flinch. She faced her mother with a calm but determined look, her soft glow dimming slightly in the presence of the Queen. "Mother, please listen to me," Zara said. "I know what I am asking is difficult, but this is our only hope. Without this Earth Father, our people will die." The Queen's eyes softened for just a fraction of a second, but she quickly regained her composure. "You should not trust him, Zara. Humans are not to be trusted with our sacred rights. They will only use us for their own gain." Alex's heart raced. He had no idea what these sacred rights were, but the way the Queen spoke about humans was chilling. He was a human, a mere scientist, and yet here he was, caught in the middle of an intergalactic struggle, expected to play a role he didn't understand. "I trust him," Zara said firmly, stepping closer to Alex, her radiant eyes never leaving his. "And I need him. We need him." Alex swallowed hard, trying to make sense of everything. He had never imagined that he would be standing here, facing an alien queen and being asked to help an alien princess save her people. But there was something about Zara's sincerity that moved him. Despite the Queen's objections, he felt a strange pull towards the princess and her mission. The Queen's gaze shifted back to Alex, and for a moment, it was as if time itself stood still. The Queen studied him as though searching for any sign of weakness, any hint that he might not be worthy of Zara's trust. "You may not understand now." "Human," the Queen said, her voice low and almost sorrowful. "But there is more at stake here than you can possibly comprehend. Our civilization is crumbling. My people are dying and there is no one left to help us. Only the chosen Earth Father can unlock the power we need to survive." Alex's head spun with confusion. "I don't know what you mean by Earth Father or this power you speak of," he said, his voice shaky. "I'm just a scientist. I'm not some hero. I don't even know what kind of power you're talking about." Zara's gaze softened and she stepped closer, her voice gentle as she spoke. "The Earth Father is a person chosen by fate, someone who can bridge the gap between our worlds. It is said that when the time comes, an Earth-born human with the right heart and mind will awaken the lost power hidden within our race. This power is the only thing that can save my mother and our people." Alex's mind raced as he tried to process her words. Lost power? Hidden abilities? He could barely grasp the implications of what she was saying. But Zara's eyes shone with such hope and he couldn't bring himself to refuse her. He had always been a logical person, relying on science to answer every question. But this was beyond science, beyond logic. Queen Alira's gaze shifted as if she were considering something in her mind. "It is true," she said quietly, "that the power exists. But it has not been unlocked for generations. The last time an Earth Father was chosen, it brought both great joy and great sorrow. The power is dangerous. It is not to be taken lightly." Alex's heart thudded in his chest. He had a feeling that the Queen wasn't just speaking of some mystical force. This power sounded like it came with consequences that no one was willing to explain. Then what happens if the power is unlocked? Alex asked cautiously, his voice tinged with fear. Zara's face darkened. "The balance of the universe will shift," she replied softly. "Our race will either be reborn or we will be lost forever." The weight of her words pressed down on him. Everything felt so much bigger than he had ever imagined. The fate of an entire alien race rested on him, on a decision he hadn't even fully made yet. "I don't know if I'm the right person for this," Alex said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm just a scientist." Zara stepped closer, her voice filled with desperation. But you are, Alex. You are the one who can help us. Please, you have to believe me. I need you to help me save my world. Alex looked at her, her eyes pleading, her face filled with both hope and fear. He didn't understand what was at stake or how he could possibly help. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just about science anymore. It was about something deeper, something he couldn't turn away from. With a heavy sigh, Alex nodded slowly. All right, he said, his voice steady despite the storm of thoughts in his head. I'll help, but I need to know everything, no more secrets. Zara smiled, relief flooding her face. Thank you, she whispered. Together we can save my people. But as Alex nodded, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had just taken the first step into a world where there were no easy answers, only dangers lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. The room fell into an eerie silence as Alex stood there, still processing the weight of what Zara had just asked him. His mind was reeling from the revelation of an alien princess needing him, a human to save her race. He could feel the weight of their eyes on him, the princess's hopeful gaze and the queen's cold, calculating stare. It was overwhelming. The queen, her regal presence dominating the room, stood silently for a moment. Her dark eyes flickered with something Alex couldn't quite place. Was it concern or contempt? It was hard to tell. As she stood motionless, her cloak shimmered like liquid shadow, reflecting the dim light of the room. Zara, standing beside Alex, was watching her mother with an intense focus. Mother, she said softly, please, this is the only way. We have no time left. If we don't act now, enough. Queen Elira's voice rang out, cutting through Zara's words like a blade. The harshness in her tone made Alex take an involuntary step back. There was no mistaking the power in her words. Zara fell silent, her eyes never leaving her mother's face. Queen Elira's gaze softened, just a fraction, but her posture remained tense. I did not come here for this, Zara, the queen said, her voice quieter now, but still laced with authority. You know the consequences. You have no idea what you're asking of him. Her eyes flickered to Alex, and he felt like she could see straight through him. Humans cannot be trusted with this power, Zara. You are playing with forces beyond your understanding. Alex felt a cold shiver run down his spine. The queen was right to be wary. Whatever this power was, it sounded like it could destroy more than just her people. But Zara was insistent, and Alex couldn't deny the connection he felt to her. He was drawn into this whirlwind of events whether he was ready or not. I trust him, Mother, Zara said firmly, her voice unyielding. I believe Alex is the one who can unlock the power we need. Queen Elira let out a soft laugh, bitter and sharp. Trust him? You trust a human? She shook her head slowly. Your Earth Father, as you call him, does not understand what he is getting into. No human could ever bear the burden of such power. A cold silence settled in the room, and Alex could feel the tension rising. He didn't know what burden the queen was talking about, but he knew one thing. This wasn't just about him anymore. This was about an entire world, an entire race depending on something he didn't even fully understand. Just as he opened his mouth to respond, something unexpected happened. From the corner of the room, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper broke through the stillness. It was coming from behind the shadows near the entrance. Do you think he can truly understand, Zara? The voice was low, haunting, and clearly not from either Zara or the queen. Alex turned toward the voice and saw a figure step out from the shadows. It was another woman, tall and cloaked in dark, flowing robes. She stepped forward, revealing a face that seemed to shimmer like the surface of a pond in the moonlight. Her eyes were silver, reflective and piercing, and she had an air of power that rivaled the queen's. Zara gasped in shock. How did you get in here? The mysterious woman's lips curved into a smile, but there was no warmth in it. I've been watching, she said calmly, her voice almost a melodic whisper. I've been watching you, Princess Zara, and your little Earth Father. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He didn't know who this woman was, but there was something in her eyes that made him instinctively wary. This wasn't just another alien. This was someone with a purpose. Who are you? Zara demanded, stepping in front of Alex protectively. The woman's smile deepened, but there was no kindness in it. I am Lyra, and I'm here to make sure you don't make the biggest mistake of your life. Queen Elira's eyes narrowed. Lyra, she muttered, almost as if she were tasting the name. You shouldn't be here. This is a matter for the royal family. Lyra's silver eyes shifted toward the queen, and there was a sharpness in her gaze. The royal family, she repeated, her voice almost mocking. Do you think you can control everything, Elira? Do you think this Earthfather will be just another pawn in your game? The queen stiffened, her eyes narrowing, her hand subtly moving toward the dagger strapped to her waist. But she didn't draw it yet. I don't need him to be a pawn, Zara said, her voice steady. I need him to help us unlock what's been hidden for centuries. The power of our race. Lyra's smile faded, replaced with a look of cold realization. You don't understand, Zara, she said softly. The power you seek is not something you can control. It's a curse. It will destroy everything you care about. Zara's expression faltered, but she quickly regained her composure. I have no choice. I'll do whatever it takes. Then, Lyra's voice was filled with an eerie calm. You will regret it. You will regret trusting him, and you will regret not listening to the truth. The tension in the room was unbearable. Alex stood there frozen, caught between two powerful forces. He could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Zara was looking at him like he was her only hope, but Lyra's words echoed in his mind like a warning. He glanced at Queen Elira, whose eyes were now hard with resolve. She knew something he didn't, something that could destroy them all. Leave now, Lyra, Queen Elira commanded, her voice sharp. This is not your fight. Lyra gave one last glance toward Zara and Alex before slipping back into the shadows, leaving behind a lingering sense of dread. As the room fell silent once more, Alex could only wonder what kind of power they were dealing with, and whether he was ready to face the consequences of helping Zara unlock it. The tension in the room was unbearable. Lyra's warning echoed in Alex's mind like a distant thunderclap, each word leaving a deeper impression than the last. You will regret it. You will regret trusting him. The words hung in the air, heavy and ominous. Despite the uncertainty gnawing at him, Alex found himself looking at Princess Zara, who was standing tall, unshaken by the confrontation. Zara's eyes were still locked on the shadows where Lyra had disappeared, but her expression was one of quiet resolve. Mother, we cannot back down, she said firmly. We have no other choice. If we don't act now, everything will be lost. I trust Alex, he is the key. Queen Elira's gaze shifted from her daughter to Alex. Her eyes were cold, calculating, but there was something else there now, a flicker of understanding, or perhaps acceptance. If you truly believe this human is the answer, then we will proceed. But be warned, Zara, she said, her voice chillingly calm. The path you are choosing is dangerous, and once you begin, there will be no turning back. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. The Queen's words held a weight that made him feel small in the face of whatever they were about to embark on. He had no idea what they were asking of him. He had never been a hero. He was just a scientist, someone who had spent his life searching for answers in a lab, never dreaming of being caught up in an intergalactic struggle for survival. Tell me what I need to do, Alex said, his voice steady despite the chaos swirling inside him. Zara stepped forward, her expression softening. We will begin the ceremony at dawn, she explained. There are rituals, tasks you must complete to prove yourself worthy of the title of Earthfather. It is not a simple title, it comes with responsibilities, powers. You must be ready. Alex nodded, although he had no idea what she was talking about. What kind of rituals? The Queen's sharp gaze returned to him. You will be tested, human, she said with finality. Tested in ways you cannot possibly imagine. Your strength will be measured, not just in body but in spirit. Alex's stomach tightened. Whatever this was, it wasn't going to be easy. But he had already made up his mind. There was no turning back now. The first trial, Zara continued, will take place at the Temple of the Dathra. It is where our ancestors unlocked the power you must wield. The temple is ancient, filled with mysteries and dangers. It will test your mind, your emotions, and your very will to survive. The Queen nodded solemnly. The temple is not a place for the weak. You will face tests that will push you to your breaking point. Many have entered, but few have returned. Alex felt a wave of uncertainty wash over him. He had no idea what they were asking him to do. He was just a man, a human. He had never fought in wars, never been part of some grand destiny. He was supposed to unlock the power to save an entire alien race. Zara must have seen the doubt in his eyes because she stepped closer to him, her voice quiet but filled with conviction. I believe in you, Alex. I believe you can do this. The power inside you is already awakening. It's in your blood, your heart, your soul. His heart skipped a beat. My blood, my soul? Zara smiled faintly. Yes, the Earth Father's power comes from an ancient bond between your people and ours. It is a connection that has been dormant for millennia, but it exists within you waiting to be unlocked. Alex swallowed hard. He didn't understand what Zara meant, but he could see the sincerity in her eyes, the unwavering belief she had in him. And somehow, despite all the questions swirling in his mind, he felt a strange pull to follow her, to help her. Maybe this was the purpose he had been searching for all his life. The Queen spoke again, her tone now tinged with something else. Concern, perhaps? Zara, you must understand this is not a simple path. The power you seek will change everything. It will change, Alex. And once the bond is forged, there is no turning back. Zara nodded without hesitation. I understand, Mother. But I am willing to take that risk. We cannot afford to wait any longer. Alex felt the weight of their words settle deep within him. This was bigger than he could have ever imagined. This wasn't just about saving one alien race, it was about changing the course of history. And whether he was ready or not, the future of two worlds rested on his shoulders. The Queen sighed, a sound heavy with the weight of centuries of wisdom. Then so be it. We begin at dawn. As the Queen and Zara left the room, Alex was left alone with his thoughts. The uncertainty, the fear, the overwhelming sense that he was about to embark on something far beyond his understanding. It all hit him in waves. He was about to enter an ancient temple filled with trials that could tear him apart, all for the sake of unlocking a power that could save or destroy entire civilizations. But deep inside, a small part of him felt something else, a spark of determination. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. He couldn't back down now. As the door to the chamber closed behind him, Alex took a deep breath. Tomorrow, everything would change. The night was long, filled with restlessness and uncertainty. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that he was standing on the edge of something monumental, a precipice that would change everything. His mind raced with questions about the power he was supposed to unlock, about the rituals and trials ahead. What were they truly asking him to do? And could he handle the pressure that would surely come with it? When morning finally arrived, the air was thick with anticipation. The sun barely touched the horizon, casting the sky in a muted golden hue. Alex stood in the courtyard of the alien facility, the cool morning breeze brushing against his skin, making the fine hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He had been summoned to the Temple of the Dathra, the place where the fate of both Earth and the alien race would be decided. Zara appeared beside him, her presence calm and steady, despite the gravity of the situation. Her glowing skin seemed to shimmer in the soft light, her eyes focused and determined. Alex noticed that she too was nervous, her body language tight, almost unreadable. But her expression was resolute, a silent promise that she would stand by him no matter what came next. You ready? She asked, her voice soft but filled with expectation. Alex nodded, though he couldn't quite summon the confidence he needed. I don't think anyone can be ready for this, he replied, trying to steady his racing heart. But I have to try. Zara gave him a small smile, though there was a trace of concern in her eyes. You'll do fine. Just remember, this isn't just about you. It's about all of us. We all have a role to play. The air was thick with the scent of something foreign, earthy, almost medicinal, like a plant Alex had never smelled before. It made his throat tighten, and he realized that it wasn't just the alien environment that felt strange. Everything about this world, this mission, felt wrong in ways he couldn't explain. But there was no turning back now. The ritual had already begun. They walked together toward the entrance of the temple, its ancient stone doors looming before them. The structure was grand, towering above them like something out of a forgotten legend. Vines and strange alien plants grew from cracks in the stone, their glowing tendrils spiraling up toward the sky. The temple was alive in a way that made Alex feel small, insignificant, and yet deeply connected to something far greater than himself. As they stepped inside, the air grew cooler. The darkness of the temple was thick, almost tangible, but Zara seemed unaffected. She led the way, her glowing form a beacon in the overwhelming blackness. The walls were covered with strange symbols, alien scripts that Alex could barely comprehend, yet they felt ancient, filled with power. In the center of the temple stood a massive stone pedestal, its surface cracked and worn by time. Around it were several glowing crystals, each one pulsing with an eerie, otherworldly light. This was it, the place where the power would be unlocked. Alex could feel the weight of the moment settle on his shoulders as they approached the pedestal. Zara turned to him, her expression serious. "This is where the first test begins," she said. "You must prove yourself worthy. Only by completing each trial will you unlock the power that will save us." Alex swallowed hard, trying to gather his thoughts. "What do I need to do?" Zara stepped aside, motioning toward the pedestal. "You must place your hand on the stone and focus. You will be tested in ways that go beyond the physical. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit will be challenged. Only by overcoming these trials will you be able to unlock the power within you." Alex looked at her, still unsure. "And if I fail?" Zara's gaze softened, but there was a flicker of sadness in her eyes. "If you fail, you will never be able to unlock the power, and we will lose everything." The weight of her words struck him hard. This wasn't just about him anymore. This was a battle for the survival of their entire civilization. The stakes couldn't be higher. Without another word, Alex stepped toward the pedestal and placed his hand on the cold stone surface. Immediately, he felt a rush of energy flood his senses, a tingling, electrifying feeling that shot through his fingertips and up his arm. The air around him seemed to vibrate, and the ground beneath his feet felt alive, pulsing with energy. A voice boomed from the walls, ancient and deep. "Prove your worth, Earthfather. Show that you possess the strength to save this world." The room seemed to shift as if the temple itself was alive, responding to the command. The air thickened and the glowing crystals around them began to pulse faster, their light intensifying. Suddenly, the ground beneath Alex's feet cracked open, revealing a dark, swirling abyss. Without warning, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a creature unlike anything Alex had ever seen. Its body was a mix of dark, shifting shadows and glowing energy. Its eyes were endless voids, and its mouth curled into a mocking smile. It was both terrifying and mesmerizing. "Face your fears, Earthfather," the creature intoned, its voice echoing in Alex's mind. "What is your greatest weakness? Show us what makes you afraid." The creature's words hit Alex like a punch to the gut. He had no idea what it meant, but instinctively his mind raced through his deepest fears. Losing everything, failing Zara, watching her people die. Was that his greatest fear? Was it the fear of not being enough? Suddenly, images flooded his mind, flashes of memories he hadn't thought about in years. His childhood, his parents, their faces fading away as they slipped from his life. His fears of not being able to protect the people he loved, of being alone in the face of something he couldn't control. "What will you do now, Earthfather?" the creature asked, its voice growing darker. "Will you let your fear control you, or will you face it?" Alex's heart raced, but as he stood there, the weight of the moment crashed over him. He couldn't let fear control him, not now. Not when everything was at stake. With a deep breath, Alex steadied his hands on the pedestal. "I will face it," he whispered to himself, pushing aside the fear. "I will not let it define me." The creature's eyes narrowed, and for a brief moment Alex felt a shift in the air, something ancient and powerful unlocking within him. A surge of energy coursed through his body, and the darkness around him seemed to recede. And in that moment, he realized that this was only the beginning. The moment Alex thought he had conquered his fear, the temple around him seemed to shift. The pulsing energy from the pedestal began to ripple outward, spiraling into the walls like a shockwave, engulfing everything in its path. For a fleeting second, Alex thought he had passed the first trial, that his courage had unlocked something, until the ground beneath him trembled violently, throwing him off balance. His heart pounded as the air around him grew thick with an unnatural heaviness. Zara, standing just a few feet away, reached out to steady him, but her expression had changed. Her radiant eyes, usually filled with warmth, were now shadowed with uncertainty. Her lips were parted as if she were about to say something but had stopped herself. The energy in the room, which had previously felt empowering, now felt like a warning. "Zara?" Alex called out, his voice shaky. "What's happening?" Before she could respond, the stone pedestal shifted. A loud grinding noise filled the air as a hidden chamber below the pedestal opened, revealing a dark abyss. The creature that had emerged earlier, its form a twisting mass of darkness and glowing energy, rose from the depths of the temple, its eyes now filled with malice. "The trial is not over. Earthfather," the creature growled, its voice now colder, more commanding. You have passed one test, but there are others. Alex's heart raced as he took a step back, but the creature moved faster than he could comprehend. Its form shifted again, becoming a vortex of shadow and light surrounding him with a suffocating aura. Alex could feel his pulse quickening, his breath shallow. The fear he had just conquered surged back stronger than before. "Zara, help me," Alex gasped, his hand instinctively reaching for her. But instead of coming to his aid, Zara's eyes turned away. She stepped back, her face hardening with an expression that Alex could barely read. "Zara, what are you doing?" Alex shouted, panic rising in his chest. "This is part of the trial, isn't it? You said you would help me." Zara looked up at him, her gaze filled with something like regret. But there was a coldness behind it that made Alex's blood run cold. "Alex," she said quietly, almost apologetically, "I didn't want you to know this, but it's time for the truth." The words felt like a blow to his chest. "What truth?" he demanded, his voice shaking. "What do you mean?" "What is this? I didn't want to tell you like this," Zara continued, her voice now laced with sadness. "But the power you're unlocking, it wasn't meant to be in the hands of a human. It was always meant for us, for my people. I'm sorry, Alex." A cold wave of betrayal washed over Alex as the reality of the situation hit him. His mind raced. "No, this can't be happening. This isn't what I signed up for. You lied to me?" Alex's voice barely rose above a whisper, but it felt like it thundered in his ears. "You used me?" Zara didn't answer right away. Her gaze flickered away as if she couldn't bear to meet his eyes. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely audible. "I never wanted this to happen, but I had no choice. My people are dying. My mother, the queen. She needed you. You were the key to unlocking our power." "Unlocking our power," Alex echoed, his voice growing more intense. "I was just a pawn to you? A means to an end?" Zara stepped back, her eyes pleading with him. But Alex couldn't bring himself to feel sympathy. He had been used, deceived, and now he was left standing in the middle of an ancient temple, fighting for his life in a trial that had been designed to break him. The betrayal felt like a heavy stone pressing against his chest. The creature, sensing Alex's inner turmoil, let out a low, guttural laugh. "You see, Earthfather, there is no truth more painful than the one that lies within your heart. Zara has chosen her path. She has chosen her people over you." Alex turned toward the creature, his anger boiling over. "This is your doing, isn't it? You set this all up." The creature's laugh echoed throughout the temple. "I am not your enemy, human. I am merely a reflection of the trial within. The one you must face not with strength alone, but with the clarity of mind to see the truth of what your role really is." Zara's eyes filled with tears, but she wiped them away, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions. "Alex, I'm sorry. I never wanted you to be hurt. But this is the only way. The power we seek, it can't be unlocked by a human. You were meant to help us, but now you must choose. You must choose to leave this place or face the consequences of the power that is already inside you." Alex's hands trembled, his chest tightening with the weight of the betrayal. He couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand how the woman he had trusted, the woman he had thought was his ally, had deceived him. He had been nothing more than a tool to her, a way to save her dying race. The creature loomed over him, its dark form growing larger with each passing second. "The trial is not over," it said, its voice booming. "You must make a choice, Earthfather. Choose wisely, or everything you fought for will be lost." Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he stood there, caught between the woman he thought he could trust and the creature that was now demanding his allegiance. What could he possibly do now? What choice could he make that would undo the betrayal he had just witnessed? His eyes turned back to Zara, whose face was a mask of sorrow. "I don't know if I can forgive you for this," Alex said, his voice filled with anguish. "But I'll have to make my own choice now. This is my fight." The creature let out another laugh as if it knew something Alex didn't. "It's already begun, Earthfather. Your choice is already made." And as the temple seemed to shift around him, Alex knew that this was only the beginning of the struggle that would define the rest of his life. The weight of Zara's betrayal hung heavy in the air, suffocating Alex as he stood amidst the swirling chaos of the temple. His heart pounded, his mind racing. The creature, its form a shifting vortex of shadow and light, loomed over him, its eyes glowing with a malevolent energy. Behind him Zara stood, her eyes downcast, her once bright expression now shadowed with regret and guilt. "The trial is nearing its end. Earthfather," the creature growled, its voice now more resonant. as if the very walls of the temple were vibrating in response to its words. The choice is yours. Will you accept the power of your ancestors? Will you unlock what you have come here to find, even if it means abandoning everything you once believed? Alex's chest tightened. This isn't what I came here for, he thought, his mind swirling with confusion. I came to help, not to become part of some twisted power struggle. His gaze shifted between Zara and the creature, unable to reconcile the two faces before him, the one that had once trusted him, and the other that had manipulated him. But the creature's words echoed in his mind. Everything you once believed. What does that mean? You were never meant to be a part of this world, the creature continued, its voice like ice scraping against stone. You were a tool, a key. But the question remains, will you use it? Will you choose the power? Or will you walk away? The pain of betrayal felt like a blade in Alex's chest. How could Zara have used him like this? How could she have lied to him? He had believed in her, believed that together they could save her world. But now it all felt like a game, one where he was nothing more than a pawn. Alex clenched his fists, the raw anger surging through him. But just as quickly doubt crept in. What if the power was the only way to save her people? What if he could do something greater than he ever imagined? The creature's words danced in his mind, taunting him. Choose now, Earthfather. The fate of two worlds rests in your hands. Zara took a step forward, her voice shaking but resolute. Alex, I never wanted this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. But this power is the only way. It's the only chance my people have to survive. Alex turned sharply to face her. His heart was torn in two, one side aching for the girl he had come to care for and the other raging at the deception that had unfolded before him. You lied to me, Zara. You used me. Do you have any idea what that feels like? I never wanted to lie to you, she whispered, her voice filled with raw emotion. But I was desperate. My mother, the queen, she's dying. The power can save her, save us all. I had no choice. I thought you could understand. Alex's mind reeled. She thought I could understand? How could he understand being used as a tool for someone else's survival? How could he understand being thrust into a battle for control over a power that he didn't even want? He had no place in this world. No role to play except the one they had carved out for him. His whole life had been defined by logic, by science, by understanding and reason. But this was a nightmare of betrayal and manipulation. He turned to face the creature, his voice cold. What happens now? If I refuse, will you destroy everything? The creature's eyes gleamed with an unsettling amusement. If you refuse, it said slowly, you will return to your world, to your life, but you will carry the burden of your choice. The power will fade, and with it, any hope for the survival of this world. Alex felt the weight of the decision press down on him. Two worlds, one human, one alien, both on the brink of collapse. Could he really walk away from all of this? Could he leave Zara, leave her people to die? And if he did accept the power, what would become of him? Would he lose himself in the process, consumed by something he couldn't control? Zara's voice trembled as she spoke again, her eyes pleading. Alex, please. I don't know what's right anymore. I don't know what to do, but I need you to help us. You are our only chance. The words hit him like a physical blow. I am their only chance. Alex closed his eyes, his heart torn between the right thing to do and the impossible thing he was being asked to consider. The power was real. He had felt it. It was an ancient force that could heal, destroy, or reshape entire worlds, and yet it was not his world. His people weren't dying. His mother wasn't on the brink of death, and his race wasn't facing extinction. So why was he here? What was he supposed to do? You have to decide, Earthfather, the creature whispered, its voice now almost seductive. Will you take what you've earned? Will you accept the power? Alex opened his eyes. His hands trembled as he thought about what he had to do. There were no guarantees. No one knew what the power would really do once it was unlocked. It could change everything, or it could destroy it all. Zara's face was a mixture of hope and fear, her gaze never leaving his. Please, Alex, she begged, her voice barely above a whisper. I need you. Alex took a deep breath, his mind made up. I don't know if I can save you, he said quietly. But I can't walk away from this. Not when so many depend on me. He turned back to the pedestal, his hand reaching out toward the stone. As his fingers brushed against its surface, the power surged through him, filling him with a force he had never known. He could feel it, the pulse of ancient energy coursing through his veins. The temple trembled around him as the light from the pedestal grew brighter, blinding him for a moment. And then he knew this was it. This was the moment when everything would change.